Right. It is 7:04, and I hereby call to order the November meeting of the Village Tivoli Board of Trustees. Would you please rise for the pledge to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. Before we get into business of the meeting, I want to take things a little out of order. Commander Tom Mabey is here of the Harrismith Post American Legion. Please make sure that you watch Panda over the next month, because Kathy O'Connor filmed the Veterans Day celebration that took place on Memorial Hill on Veterans Day. And Commander Mabey is here this evening to make a presentation to the Board of Trustees regarding our new monuments. But I want to turn the floor over to my colleague, Trustee Bruno, to talk about that event and to accept whatever Commander Mabey may have for us.
Okay. We had worked in conjunction with one another, Mayor Grant and myself, and the Harrismith Post to plan an event to raise funds for the benches to commemorate the individuals who have fought so courageously for the country. And it was an honor and a privilege to work with all of you through the event, and not to mention I found it rather moving on Veterans Day to see benches that were made, engraved, set, and dedicated and blessed to, I would say, to bless all of you who have blessed all of us. And it was wonderful.
This was a collaborative effort between really Trustee Bruno and the Harrismith Post. There was a dinner that took place over the summer at the Legion. It was a barbecue dinner. We raised funds there. In addition, we have received a few donations that came in. So as you drive into the village, take a look. It's up on Monument Hill. There's two new benches, as Trustee Bruno said. And I want to thank all of the men at the Legion for working with us. And my special thanks to Trustee Bruno for working on this project for the last couple months. It's wonderful to see those benches up there, and the fact that they were there in time for Veterans Day. Just what a treat for this village and for the men of your post. So I greatly want to thank you, and thank you for all of your hard work and for doing everything that you do every day for our veterans. So we'll let you and Commander Mabey.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to say that I don't have a check to hand Trustee Bruno, because the Village of Tivoli already has that check. We have a thing at the American Legion where we try to take care of business right away. But may I say it was an honor working with you two, and I thank you very much for getting us involved so the little things that could be done absolutely right for those monuments, the wording, and the monuments that we have to repair up there in future business that we discussed momentarily a couple days ago. It makes me feel very proud to know that the village thinks so much of us, and we really, really appreciate that. And in the future, if you ever need us to do anything in that line, please don't hesitate to ask. So I can't hand you a check, but
I'll take your
thank you for, and Brian, you started this 2 years ago, I
It
believe.
started a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I've just become the commander, and I was the secretary, the wantless job, if you will. But I remember he came 2 years ago, and it took that long to get these done, but they came out perfectly.
They look great.
And we're very thankful, and I hope the community understands what this went for. And I'd just like to say a couple other little things that really don't revolve around that.
Yes,
But prior to that, this summer and for a couple of years now, I think it's 6 years, we've done a golf tournament, 7 years now, This year, the golf tournament gave $6,000 away to local food pantries.
Wow.
We did this a couple years ago, and it was about the same thing. And also, tomorrow and this morning, we are preparing 100 Thanksgiving Day dinners to be dropped off locally. And we take care of the whole thing, the American Legion, and I can't be remiss, but St. Paul's Church. They provide us with half the stuff and half the transportation, which is a big thing, so we can go out and deliver them. And hopefully, the same thing will be happening around Christmas time, where we do a ham dinner. So, with that, let's keep our fingers crossed. On behalf of the Harris Smith Post Tivoli American Legion, we wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving, and let's look forward to taking care of our needed community in the weeks to come.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Bruno.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure, Mike.
Commander, thank you very much.
You know my door is always open.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. My thanks again to everybody. Thank you, Commander. Greatly appreciate it. And my sincere thanks again to Trustee Bruno for all the hard work that went through to make that a success. So it was a great ceremony. My thanks to our County Executive, Mark Molinaro, who came up and spoke, and to Father Terrio. It was great to see Father T there, who gave the blessings. And I want to thank two special Cub Scouts that were there. Karen and Shane Cran came up to assist us with the Pledge of Allegiance. So Daddy's proud of you, boys. Thank you again, Commander. Moving on to Clerk's report. Clerk Canella.
Okay, Mayor Crammon. This month we're working on water sewer bills. I want to remind everyone that instead of going out on December 1st to December 31st. We're also generating a newsletter with an expanded format this month. We sold 511 tags. We closed down the clean air grant for the compost bins. We still have 4 grants in progress. We hosted the general elections here in the building. We also sent unpaid real estate taxes to the county, and we have a holiday coming up beginning tomorrow afternoon at noon. The office will be closed at noon, and then Thursday and Friday will be closed. And I think maybe you wanted to talk about the door?
I do. I guess over the last year and a half, unfortunately, my family and I have received a couple threats to our safety. I've had phone calls in the middle of the night. We've had people showing up here and yelling at me and so on and so forth. But when you're mayor, that's sort of part of the job, unfortunately. When you're in the public eye, people feel that they can do that. But it's not appropriate for people to do that to our office staff. And unfortunately, we've had a few occasions where the safety and welfare of our clerks has been concerning to us. So the board and I made the decision to approve altering this door here into the clerk's office. No longer will you be able to just walk in to the clerk's office. There is a slot that documents will be able to be slid underneath and onto you, and there's a hole where the clerk's staff can speak to you. But the safety and welfare is a concern to us. It's not fair to our staff to have their safety concerns here when they come to work. So it is the last thing that we wanted to do. I don't think any of us, including the clerk staff, wanted to close off that communication and that friendliness that we've had for so long. But we live in a different time, unfortunately, now, and things have had to change. So my door will continue to be open, and I'll continue to be accessible, as will the rest of the board. And the clerk staff will continue to be accessible. It's just that we're not going to be able to go in and walk in anymore. But we will do everything that we can to get you whatever information you need going forward. But I want to thank the clerk's staff for putting up with my delay on doing that door for as long as I did. It was a reluctance on my part, but the safety and the welfare of our clerks comes first before anything else. So I just wanted to clear that up for anyone watching at home as to why we've done that. So moving on to minutes from the previous board meeting. At this point, I've entertained a motion to approve the board meeting minutes of October 17th. So moved. Motion's been made by the deputy mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's also a set of minutes in your book from October 17th, which was a public hearing. Purpose of that public hearing was to hear recommendations for the village's 2013 Dutchess County Community Development Block Grant. At this point, I entertain a motion to approve those minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Motion's been made by the deputy mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to schedule of upcoming events. Clerk Canella?
I think perhaps trustee Bruno would want to talk about Winterfest.
You want to
Yes.
talk about that in your trustee report?
Either or.
We'll do it in your trustee report.
Okay.
Moving on to the treasurer's report. We've all had an opportunity to review the treasurer's report. You will notice there was a prepay of $38,479.54. This was a prepay that was for the Community Development Block Grant for Memorial Park, plus the regular payments, which total $92,074.08. A breakdown is as follows. Out of the general fund, $63,552.58. Under the water fund, we were paying $17,318.79. And the sewer fund, $11,202.71. That grand total is $92,074.08, combined with the prepay, $130,553.62. At this point, I would entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Motion's been made by trustee Griffith. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All trustees have had an opportunity to review your vouchers with regards to payments. At this point, I entertain a motion to approve payment of the bills.
So moved.
Motion's been made by trustee Israedi and seconded by the deputy mayor. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to a zoning report, trustee Israedi.
Homework.
Sorry.
Basically, we have had several permits issued for renovations and additions, which total $795. The properties are Calendar House, Lothrop Lane, and on Route 9G. I presume that's the Bayrite renovation of the house.
I believe it is.
Yeah. In addition to that, there were inspections of changes in two properties. One property, two inspections, and that is for building that's going on at the home of Christina Herrard.
What was that on Christina Herrard's property? I'm sorry.
She successfully got a site plan to allow a
And
building
that's done.
permit for the second one.
Right.
And now they're actually undertaking some of the construction
Okay.
on that property.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the last part. Thank you, trustee Israedi. Moving on to the first item under regular business is awarding the bid to authorize engineer to oversee the CDBG project for the sidewalks. In order to obtain these bids, the village sent a legal notice to the Daily Freeman. We sent RFPs to 4 engineering firms and were recommended by Dutchess County's Department of Planning. In addition, we posted that in 6 places here in the village. 2 engineering firms submitted proposals. One was Morris Associates, who is the village engineer of record. The other was Fusco Engineering out of Orange County. This evening I made a recommendation to the Board of Trustees that we award the bid to Morris Associates. Their bid was significantly less than the other bid that came in. In addition, Mr. Evangelista, who's here tonight, has already spoken with village personnel as he actually helped develop and submit that application to the county. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to award the bid to Morris Associates for the 2012 sidewalk project?
So moved.
Motion's been made by the deputy mayor, is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded, is there any discussion before I, no, I need a roll call vote. Mr. Deputy Mayor?
Aye.
Trustee Israedi?
Aye.
Trustee Bruno?
Aye.
Trustee Griffin? And I vote aye as well. Mr. Evangelista of Morris Associates is here. I know he can talk about this project as well, maybe give an update on Memorial Park as well.
Thank you.
Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, appreciate it. Start with Memorial Park. That's come fairly far along. We can get to all the paving, ran out of good weather due to the wetness of the area. The contractor felt that to finish the basketball court, he would cause too much damage to the area around it because we really haven't had much of a break in terms of rain through August, September, October there. And at this point, we've run out of decent weather to apply that. So we've requested an extension for that project, for the 2011 CDBG project, and all signs are that that'll be favorable. Don't have the official word yet. The general contractor still has a little bit of work left to do, and that was one payment this evening was authorized to them. The board considered at its last meeting some change orders, new doors that we were hoping originally we wouldn't have to replace, but I think it's a good idea to do that, and a few other miscellaneous items that the board approved at its last meeting. We're still hoping that he'll do some more additional work this year, but our extension would apply to both contractors if they don't finish up. So all in all, it's been kind of a long road on this project, and but I think working with Trustee Bruno on this project, she's gotten a lot of work, volunteer work from local folks, and the DPW will be performing some work and has performed some work out there as well. So all in all, with a combined effort, some force account from the village, some volunteer work, and the contractor work that we were able to bid and award, I think it's going to be a real nice park. I've joked with Trustee Bruno about the new Memorial Park when all said and done. I think when the paint, when I think it was Williams Lumber who donated some paint, when the paint gets on the pavilion roof and all those posts, of course, have been replaced, when the paint gets on that roof and some of the playground equipment has been painted, I think it's going to look a lot different there. And of course, with the new surface on the basketball court, that's going to look totally different. All in all, I think things are going pretty well. I wish we could have gotten it done this year, but weather didn't cooperate too much. Moving on to the 2012 sidewalk project. Trustee Lee and I have walked those sidewalks, and also with Joel as well, Trustee Griffith. I've walked some of the areas as well. We've identified what we wanted to do in terms of sidewalks originally. We applied for $150,000 in terms of the grant we were awarded. The village was awarded $100,000, so we will need to cut back a little bit. Basically, all of the areas scheduled for replacement sidewalk are areas which currently have sidewalk but are in very bad condition. There is a little bit of a discussion between the firehouse and headed towards Cat's Band on that same side of the street. There's a stretch of, rough numbers, let's say about 900 feet in there, and most of that is existing sidewalk. A portion of that, approximately half of that 900 and some feet, is there's some existing slate in there. Now, the original intent for that is to remove that. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting conversation with the CEO, I think he was, or COO of Cat's Band, who gave some input in that as well. Our original intent was to replace that with concrete sidewalk. A recent development in that, SHPO is going to weigh in on this, so New York State Historic Preservation is going to weigh in on this, so they may have something to say about that as well, in terms of either leaving in place and doing something over it, or lifting them and actually pouring concrete and placing the good pieces in the concrete We'll see how that goes, or they may agree with a total replacement, but I just wanted to alert the board that there may be a little change in that portion with the existing slate, because State Historic is going to weigh in on that. Thank you very much for the award this evening. We will move forward on that project. Obviously, it's a next year project, but I think it's going to be a very nice improvement for the village. We've spent some time here and walked all the sidewalks that we felt needed to be replaced, and of course there were a few more feet than that, but money only goes so far. But I think it'll be a nice improvement. We actually saw in some of our walkthroughs, we actually saw people step off the sidewalk and avoid certain hazardous areas. So, I think it'll be a nice improvement for the village. And also, our office is working on that Greenway grant, and that would, at this point, it's planning stage, but boy, that would be a nice continuation all the way down to your waterfront property, if and when that goes through. At this point, it's planning stages only. That's what was granted at this point. But again, I think that would be a very nice addition to the village and make that direct connection to the waterfront.
Absolutely.
That's about all I have. I didn't know if there was anything.
I want to say thank you again to Mr. Evangelista. He took his grant project, which was completely rewritten from scratch last year. We were asked, why is there such a delay on this project? Well, the reason was that we had to completely rewrite this grant application, really from step one. And so I want to thank you and your firm, and I really want to thank you for working with the engineers and DPW to make sure that this project was done. If you have not had a chance yet to go over to the park, go over and take a look. Everything's been, it's a brand new pavilion except for the roof. I mean, everything is completely new and it's sealed. There's paving that's done over there, and you're exactly right. It's going to be the new Memorial Park. Water is running in the bathrooms, although we've locked them up again. It's this time of year we don't want to have them running, but the water is running in the bathrooms again. And when we open up in spring, you'll have running water and bathrooms and a water fountain. So my sincere thanks again. I know there was a lot of work that was done, and I really appreciate everything that Morris Associates did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brian, the board, at our next workshop, should we look a little early and do a walkthrough?
That would be a good idea.
Just to see what got finished?
Yeah, that's a great idea. We can go into the bathrooms. I don't think everyone has been into the bathrooms yet. But all the facilities are up and installed, and
No, they
it's
did
great.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the DPW did a great job with signing or, lining the handicap spot.
Yeah, so that was
Very
done.
nice.
There's a water fountain that's now been installed there, so
Yes.
we're moving forward. Moving on, I don't have a resolution number, but it's a resolution authorizing the execution of the license agreement between American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, and the Village of Tivoli. From time to time, the Village of Tivoli hosts various celebrations and events, and music is played at these events. And as a right, we need to make sure that the composers, authors, and publishers are getting their fair share. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 26. Motion's been made by the deputy mayor and seconded by trustee Griffith. Is there any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I will sign this now,
There's
Councilor.
actually a roll call.
It is a roll call. Mr. Deputy Mayor,
Aye.
trustee Israedi,
Aye.
trustee Bruno,
Aye.
trustee Griffith,
Aye.
and I vote aye.
Thank you,
And I've signed the contract. Remind me after the meeting.
thank you.
You're welcome. The next item on the agenda is actually legislation that I am laying on the desk this evening. It's a local law to require registration of landlord agents and to amend inspection provisions. Excuse me being blunt, but we have a number of absentee landlords here in the Village of Tivoli that are impacting this village, and it is changing the scope and the vision that this board has for this village. We will no longer tolerate absentee landlords in the Village of Tivoli. If you live in the Village of Tivoli and you own property, we want to make sure that you're keeping that property up if you're renting it out. However, there are several landlords that don't live in the Village of Tivoli but rent property space here in the village, and we know for a fact that they're not coming up to look at that property. We as a board are having to contact our zoning office to let him know that a certain property is in disarray. He has to contact the property owner to let them know. The property owner should be up here taking a look at that property. It should not be up to the Board of Trustees or the clerk's office to be policing those areas. But we know that certain landlords don't live here in the village. There's some that live in Manhattan, there's some that live in California. So this particular legislation would require landlords to appoint an agent, so that that agent would be the contact that the Village Tivoli clerk's office has. And it's, if you live outside of Dutchess County, out of Columbia, Ulster, I think those are it, if I'm not mistaken, Counselor. So if you have property in the Village Tivoli, but you live outside of those surrounding counties, you would have to name an agent so that the village can contact you when there are issues. In addition, it amends the inspection provisions that the zoning office would do. This legislation will be posted on our webpage, Clerk Anella. We can send this to our webmaster. In addition, we'll have a copy here in the village offices. In addition, I'll send it out to my email distribution list that I have. But this is not legislation that we want to rush into. We want to take our time reviewing this. But it's my hope to either approve this probably in January, I'm assuming, because we would set a public hearing. So my guess is that we'll actually adopt this legislation in January, but the board wants to take its time on it. But we're serious when we say that we're going to take absentee landlords very seriously with the way that they're allowing certain properties to be. So the legislation is placed on the desk this evening, most likely for a public hearing in January and adoption in January.
Mr. Mayor, would you explain a little bit about we're also taking a look at the frequency of inspections, because I think, I know we do have plenty of landlords in the village who won't be affected by the agent issue, but they would be affected by the frequency of inspections. So
Right.
they should also pay attention to what we're considering here.
Thank you. This would allow for the zoning office to go in to inspect multifamily dwellings. I have the verbiage correct, Counselor. Multifamily dwellings. There are, for example, the schoolhouse. I'm not pointing, but I'm just using that as an example. There's several apartments in there. There's a few other buildings here in the Village of Tivoli that have apartments in them. This would allow our zoning officers to go in to inspect those, to make sure that they are up to code and that it's safe for individuals to rent. So if you own property in the Village of Tivoli with apartments, you should know about this, because zoning office will be contacting you to set up an inspection of your property. But it's important that they're up to code with regards to sprinklers, with regards to exits, with regards to smoke and CO detectors, as well as exits and entrances. So, as well as hot water heaters and where they're housed, and to make sure there's nothing around them. So thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that is all that I have. The next board meeting will be held Wednesday, December 19th, 7 p.m. here at the Village Hall. Workshop to take place at 6 in my office. The regular workshop will be held Wednesday, December 12th, 6 p.m. In my office as well. I want to just add one more thing. Again, my sincere thanks to Commander Mabee. But when I first started this project, former trustee Pat Hogan started working with me on this project to make sure that we had new monuments on there. And I want to thank Trustee Hogan, former Trustee Hogan, for working with me on that project. And she was there, she is every year at the Veterans Day celebration. So my sincere thanks to you, Pat. Moving on to committee reports, Deputy Mayor Lady.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, we had a few more housekeeping items.
We do.
I'm sorry.
I apologize.
In the mayor's report.
I probably should have looked at that more closely.
A couple more. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Holiday schedule.
Holiday schedule, because the clerk's office wants to be off. The Village of Tivoli holiday schedule is in everyone's packet. It's pretty standard. New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Clerk's Day. How did you speak? I'm sorry. Columbus Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Day after Thanksgiving, and Christmas Day. Does the board need to adopt this holiday schedule?
Yes, they do.
So at this point,
So moved.
Right, your mercy.
Trustee Israedi has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, in any discussion?
Does not require
All in favor?
Aye.
There's
Opposed? Motion carries. I'm sorry?
a couple of other things.
Yes, we weren't done voting.
I'm sorry.
That's quite all right, Clerk Canal.
You keep moving along. Thanks for me.
You have pies to make. We're trying to get you out of here. This is a collection of unpaid taxes from not.
That's just for your information.
Okay.
We've already sent that.
Yep.
One more page.
Okay.
We determined
Yes.
that the planning
We discussed it at the
board
workshop.
chair-
From what I understand, this is with regards to closing out an escrow
Yes.
account. Council tells me it does not need approval of the board.
but-
I have been told that any time I close an account, I need approval of the board.
Okay.
By
We
New
can
York
do it.
Oh, you're closing an actual bank account?
Actual bank account.
Oh, that's a different issue. I thought you were just closing out a.
Yes,
Exactly.
okay.
Okay.
It's an actual bank account.
Thank you.
And I move that the escrow account associated with site plan review by the planning board of Murray's at 76 Broadway be authorized to be closed.
Motion's been made by trustee Israedi. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the deputy mayor. Any discussion? I apologize about that.
No, that's all right, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything else that you've placed in my book?
I'm very happy, thank you.
Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Levy.
Yeah, we'll go through the water report. Our ball out well was running for half the month. That pumped out 137,900 gallons. Our Mark 1 well pumped out 284,600 gallons. That was roughly 7 gallons per minute. 2 PW well, 296,300 gallons for 6 gallons a minute. 5 PW well, 254,800 gallons. And that looks like roughly about 5 gallons per minute. 4 PE, 10 PE wells, 567,900 gallons, and that pumped 12 gallons per minute. Our Woodmark well pumped out 834,700 gallons for 18 gallons per minute. There were no water main breaks. That just flushed some water mains on October 23rd, 25th, and 30th, and November 1st.
And what about the break that was identified out here that we were talking about?
That was last month.
That was last
That
month.
was last month.
Okay.
So that was already discussed.
Okay.
And it's all with the water. I talked with Jim, sewer's running perfectly. And I had heard no issues as far as our garbage pickup at all. And that's all I have.
Trustee Israedi.
The planning and zoning department have not met this month, so I have nothing to report on that. The LoSAP program, despite the drop in the market, because it's primarily fixed income, is perking along. The rate of return fell from 10% to 9.5%, but that's the annualized rate of return, so we're excited that whatever they're doing, well, we know what they're doing, but they're doing a good job on that one. In the coming year, we will probably be looking at some additional review of the historic landmark district zoning that we did, some tweaking and so forth, so in the planning for next year's budget, I will be taking on an application for a Greenway grant on that, so that we can cover some of that cost, and that's about it.
You were not here after Street Painting Festival because you
I
were.
was not.
So I wanted to give you an opportunity tonight to
Okay.
talk about street painting.
Okay, well, we came out in the black, we covered our expenses. We have a plaque that I should have brought today and forgot, but it's a great plaque that memorializes the last 6 years of donations to the festival. It was in terms of contributions, it was really a wonderful year because we have some regulars on that list, and each of them contributed at least as much and got some surprise gifts of up to 50% more. So that helped to offset the drop in the Dutchess County grant. We did close out that grant and got an extra $50 this week. They make you write up a report at the end, and they hold back 10% of the grant until you've written a report, and we have great things to say. We had probably 400 participants. We had 237 registered artists. And for those of you who were there, that meant we were painting squares literally until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we have some great photos, which if you go to the Red Hook Observer website, you can actually see every square. And there are some great photos of Robert McKeon, who got Volunteer of the Day because he started painting those squares at 7:30 in the morning, along with Mayor Cranmer. He didn't stop painting them until 3 in the afternoon, and he had this little collection of little girls who would follow him because they wanted another square to be painted. So of all of the festivals we've had, this one was definitely, if not the best, among the best. We had great music from Joe Tobin and the Acoustic Medicine Variety Show. There was, I always have a favorite every year, and they move around. And this year it was the fiddler, who was a Bard student and played sort of in the middle of the day, an amazingly gifted musician. But when he was playing, he would start out playing that fiddle like a banjo, and then he would shift to sort of a guitar sound, and then they would bring in the timpani, and then they brought on the trumpets, and I mean, there's all of this right there on the street. So
Perfect weather.
at the weather, we had 5 days of nonstop rain. And we said, not gonna happen tomorrow, and called it, and went ahead with the festival, and it started to rain at 4:45 again, so we had our window of opportunity. I can't say, a lot of the excitement to me is the number of kids who come back every year. We keep a registration list. There were 117 Tivolians who came. That is literally 1 in 10. And those are the ones who registered, not the ones who came to just view. But it was, that number has stayed steady, if not grown, but it was only 40% of the total this year. So the Tivolians have dipped under, but it's partly because everybody who used to live in Tivoli and went to the Street Painting Festival comes back for this festival. So it is, God bless Linda Murphy. She really came up with a great idea. Joel was there in square number 1, not only helping to paint squares, but to lend gravitas to the quality of the art. Robin was there with her 2 girls. She had multiple things to do that day, but she carved out the 3 hours that I needed her for, and her girls were grateful because that was what they wanted to do that day. And they not only helped us to paint and clean the street, but they also painted their own squares. And Sean was there to receive the plaque, was he not? Was it Sean or your son?
Shane.
Shane.
I'm sorry. Shane, yes.
Was
My
there,
son.
very proudly with his dad, and eager to receive that. And so the board was well represented. It was a great day, and
Congratulations.
it's just fun. It's just fun.
You did a great job as always, so very, very well done, as always. We look forward to next year. Trustee Bruno,
Yes.
it's your
I do
turn.
look forward to that. That's a fantastic event. I will start off with, just to reiterate that if people that missed the Veterans Day ceremony, take a look at Panda. Our veterans were there, and it's very precise. It's 11 o'clock, and he did not start until 11 o'clock. It was 11:11 at 11, and he was right on the money, right on the second. But to hear these gentlemen, they read from a book that was quite old. It was very moving to see these men who fought for the country, and they are remembering those that they fought with. It was lovely. And the new benches are there, as Mayor Carana had mentioned, on Monument Hill. Father Terrio, the holy water, he was there. It was so they're dedicated. They're blessed, and I felt blessed to have been there that day with those gentlemen, with Mayor Carana, along with our county executive Marcus Molinaro. So moving on to what I could have done before, but the schedule of upcoming events. Our biggie is coming up. It's Winterfest. The Rec Committee is in full swing. They're planning the event to take place Saturday, December 8th, right here in the parking lot in between Village Hall and the firehouse. There'll be a craft fair, crafts for the children, a bonfire to keep everyone warm and in the holiday spirit there. Carolers who will carol around the bonfire. And what is not to be missed is St. John's Handbell Choir. It's
Yeah, they're good.
a beautiful sounding choir. There'll be refreshments, a visit from Santa. And we are still accepting donations for this event. We really would like to cover costs and bring back things that bring back the people every year, which is the horse and carriage rides, 2 beautiful black percherons. They carry people throughout the village with the wagon, carolers, and we're really looking forward to providing the fireworks for the event. So come join us, December 8th, 3 to 5, another wonderful event. Celebrate winter, kick off the holiday season, and have fun with family and friends. And other happenings that did already occur were the Halloween parties. They were great. Special thanks goes to, again, the Tivoli Rec Committee. They held the events for the teens and the younger children. And a special thank you to Trustee Griffith for arriving yet again in fine fashion, just like you did last year. It's for the pizza. You could come back every year for the pizza. Another amazing costume, and one that I probably won't forget too soon. Another item, don't forget the library. Many programs for everyone. If there are any questions, just give them a call. They're always there to help. And I would like to just close. I've just been reflecting lately, and in a time which I think everyone is well aware is tumultuous global upheaval. I think we do all need to keep very close what we hold dear. And I was just thinking, keeping that in mind when we join with family and friends on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and for Tivolians and family, friends, and visitors, travel safely. And it's my sincere and personal hope that one and all have and share in a very happy Thanksgiving. And that's it.
Thank you. You too. Trustee Griffith.
Before I start my regular business, I just want to salute Trustee Bruno and the Rec Committee. That's 2 years in a row now I've stopped by the Halloween party, and I do like getting a pizza, but having been an adolescent in this village myself, and it's small and sometimes there's not a lot to do, and I was so struck by how well attended it was, and the bands. I mean, it's great to hear what talented young musicians we have. I mean, there were some good bands.
Yeah.
And it can be really challenging. I think a lot of adults and a lot of communities would like to sort of engage the adolescents, but there's something about that time of life where you resist any sanctioned fun from the grown-ups. And somehow you did it and you do it, and I really tip my hat to you and to the Rec Committee for pulling that off. It's fabulous. I'll do the court report covering charges from October 1st to October 31st, 2012. Total charges received 11. Total charges disposed 7. Total money collected and remitted to the state comptroller in fines, $260. Surcharges, $55. Civil fees, $40, for a total of $355. And I just have a quick announcement. Last month, I was here showing village historian Bernard Teeger's fabulous book, which came out entitled Tivoli, The Making of a Community. And he did have a book signing last month, which was very well attended, but for those of you who missed it, there's another event happening in December. On December 13th, it's a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock here at Wastapeister Hall on the 3rd floor. I have the great honor of conducting a public interview with Mr. Teeger about the book. I'm sure he'll have copies on hand and be happy to sign them, and it's a chance for all of the village to come and have a conversation with him about what's in the book, and maybe we can take some colorful digressions about things that were intimated in the book and didn't make it into the 160 pages, but I've had a chance to read through the whole thing, and it's really just fascinating, and he is a great historian, particularly when he has to sort of dislodge some of the myths we've all held for so long. He does it sort of gently. Having espoused some misinformation most of my life, it was nice that he had a soft touch in that regard. So again, that's an interview book talk with Bernard Teeger, Thursday, the 13th of December at 7 p.m. Here at Village Hall.
And there's a couple of your paintings that are featured, and one is on the cover.
I'm very pleased. Very
Congratulations
Yep.
on that.
Thank you.
Anything else? Is there anyone wishing to address the board on any issues? I will add two things. When the call went out that there was a need down in the Long Island area following Hurricane Sandy, Chief Mark Hildebrand and two members of his department didn't think twice, and they got in their truck, they coordinated with Dutchess County Emergency Response, and they went down to the New York area and spent about 3 days down there with no sleep, no showers. I think one night they slept in their truck, assisting crews down there. So my sincere thanks to our chief and his members of the department that went down. They made us very proud, and I'm sincerely grateful to them. And also, Jenny LaBarber, when the call went out that people were in need, Jenny said, okay, what can I do? So she got together a truck, and for about a week and a half, we collected donations here in the Village Hall of clothing, and diapers, and food, and cleaning supplies. And I think it was Ed Mead and Ginny who coordinated a truck, and we sent it down, a flatbed truck down to the New York City area. Chuck Mead, I'm sorry. And they coordinated this effort, and we got a huge truck that went down. So Ginny and Chuck, my sincere thanks to both of you. That was great. When people are in need, Tivoli steps up. And I'll close by saying, if you want to run for mayor in the Village of Tivoli, there are a couple people that you need to talk to. One was Ethel Block, Shirley Minkler, Claude Potts, and one of the other people was Anna Moore. And Anna was a pillar of this community, a true treasure to the Village of Tivoli, and we lost Anna last week. And my sincere condolences to the entire family. And with
The service though, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I thought that was a beautiful tribute to her.
it was a very nice service. Very, very well done. And with that being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn in honor of Anna Moore.
So,
Second?
Second.
We are adjourned.